Your journey is only yours, and the beauty of it lies in the fact that it will never look exactly like anyone else's. So often, we get trapped in the cycle of comparison, looking at others and thinking they are moving faster, achieving more, or living a life that seems so much better than ours. But in that moment, we forget that no two stories are meant to be the same. The struggles you carry, the dreams you hold, and the lessons life teaches you are uniquely designed for you. Just because your chapter looks different from someone else's doesn't mean it is less important or less valuable. It simply means that your path has a rhythm of its own, a timing of its own, and a destination that only you can reach. We are taught from the very beginning to measure our lives against others. Grades in school, achievements, jobs, relationships. Without realizing it, we start believing that there is a universal timeline that we must all follow. But life doesn't work that way. Some people bloom early, and some bloom later. Some find their calling in a moment of clarity, while others take years of searching. That doesn't make one better than the other. It just makes them different. And in those differences lies the essence of life's beauty. Imagine how dull the world would be if every story sounded the same. The truth is, your uniqueness is your greatest strength. And when you stop running in someone else's race, you finally begin to see the value of your own. There will be moments when people will remind you of what you lack or where you are behind. They may even laugh at your slow pace or question your choices. But remember, they are looking at your journey through the lens of their own experiences, not yours. Only you know the weight of the battles you fought silently. Only you know the nights when you wiped your tears and still found the courage to wake up in the morning. Only you know how many times you have fallen and yet chosen to stand again. That story cannot be compared. It is sacred, it is raw, and it belongs only to you. It is so easy to get lost in the noise of society, to scroll through endless images of perfection, and to feel that you are not enough. But what if you reminded yourself every single day that you are not here to replicate someone else's journey? You are here to walk your own. You don't have to arrive at the same milestones at the same time as everyone else. You don't need to dress like them, speak like them, or live like them. The only thing you need is the courage to honor your own pace and to celebrate the person you are becoming along the way. And yes, sometimes your path will feel lonely when you choose authenticity over conformity. You may lose people who don't understand your choices when you dare to follow your own calling. There will be voices trying to pull you back into the familiar. But loneliness is not the enemy. It is often the silence that allows you to hear your own heart clearly. In that silence, you begin to understand that your worth does not come from the world's approval, but from the unwavering truth that you are living a story that no one else can live. So instead of wishing for someone else's journey, embrace your own with all its imperfections. Embrace the scars because they are proof of your survival. Embrace the delays because they are shaping your patience. Embrace the detours because they are teaching you resilience. Every turn, every pause, every heartbreak has been building you into the person you are today and the person you are becoming tomorrow. There is no greater gift than being able to say, "This is my story. It may not be perfect, but it is mine." For your journey is only yours. Guard it, honor it, and most importantly, trust it. Because the moment you do, you will realize that you were never behind. You were always right where you were meant to be. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never imagine. Pain comes without warning, shattering our comfort zones, breaking our plans, and forcing us to face a reality we never chose. In those moments, it feels unfair, it feels heavy, and sometimes it feels impossible to endure. But what we often fail to see is that pain is not here to destroy us. It is here to awaken us. Every trial we face is an invitation to dig deeper, to discover a strength we didn't know we carried, and to turn that pain into power. Think about it. When life is easy, we rarely grow. Comfort doesn't shape character, and smooth roads don't make strong travelers. It is when we fall, when we fail, when we lose, that we are given the chance to rebuild ourselves, not as the person we once were, but as someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Pain has a way of stripping away everything unnecessary, leaving us with the raw truth of who we are. It may break us for a while, but it also rebuilds us into someone who can withstand storms we never thought we could survive. There will be moments when the world tells you to give up, when even your own heart whispers that you cannot take it anymore. But remember, every wound carries within it a seed of transformation. The suffering you feel today is not the end of your story. It is the soil where your strength will grow. The tears you shed are not signs of weakness. They are signs of cleansing, of healing, of becoming. One day you will look back and realize that the very moments that hurt the most were the ones that shaped you into who you are meant to be. When you begin to see pain as a teacher, everything changes. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of running from your scars, you learn to wear them as medals of honor. And instead of being ashamed of your brokenness, you begin to see that your cracks are where the light enters. Pain gives you empathy, it gives you wisdom, and it gives you a story that can touch lives far beyond your own. Sometimes we think strength is about never falling, but true strength is about rising again after every fall. It is about looking pain in the eye and saying, "You may bend me, but you will not break me." That defiance, that resilience, that fire within you, that is your power. And it is born not in times of ease, but in the crucible of hardship. So when life brings you to your knees, don't see it as defeat. See it as a chance to rise differently, to rise stronger. Remember that even the tallest mountains were formed by immense pressure. And even the most beautiful pearls were created through irritation and pain. What breaks you today has the potential to make you shine tomorrow. Your wounds can become your wisdom, and your suffering can become your strength, but only if you allow it to. Your journey will always have moments of darkness, but even in that darkness, there is a spark waiting to be discovered. Don't hide from the pain, and don't let it define you. Let it refine you. Because the truth is, pain will come and go, but the power it leaves behind can last a lifetime. And when you rise from those trials, carrying your scars with dignity, you become a beacon for others who are still struggling. You show them that it is possible not just to survive, but to thrive. You show them that brokenness can lead to beauty, and loss can lead to life. That is the true power of turning pain into power. It not only transforms you, but it inspires others to find their own strength too. We often wait for grand achievements to celebrate ourselves. We think joy only belongs to the ones who reach the top of the mountain, forgetting that even the small steps taken every day are victories in themselves. But the truth is, life is not made of just big moments. It is woven together by countless little triumphs that we often overlook. Celebrating small victories is about acknowledging the courage it takes to move forward even when life feels heavy, to smile even when tears are close, and to try again even when failure seems inevitable. It is easy to belittle your progress when you compare it with others. You might feel that your small steps are insignificant, but they are not. They are the very proof that you are choosing to move forward despite all odds. Waking up after a night of pain is a victory. Choosing kindness in a world that sometimes feels cruel is a victory. Speaking your truth when silence feels safer is a victory. These little things may seem small to the world, but to your soul, they are powerful reminders that you are still standing, still growing, still becoming. Life's journey is long and unpredictable. If you only wait for the destination to celebrate, you will miss the beauty of the path. Every small milestone is shaping you, preparing you for bigger challenges, and teaching you lessons you cannot learn otherwise. A flower doesn't bloom in a single moment. It grows slowly, day by day, until one morning it unfolds in all its beauty. Your growth is no different. It is the tiny, consistent steps that create transformation, and each one deserves recognition. When you learn to celebrate the little things, your heart begins to find gratitude in places you once ignored. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, you find joy in the imperfect ones. You discover that success is not only about reaching the final goal, but about how much strength it takes to keep moving along the way. And that mindset changes everything. It makes you patient, it makes you hopeful, and it keeps you grounded in the present. Sometimes, you may feel like your progress is invisible, as though nothing is changing despite your effort. But growth is often silent. Just because you don't see the results immediately doesn't mean you aren't evolving. Think of a seed buried in the soil. It spends weeks unseen before it ever breaks the surface. But that hidden growth is what allows it to rise. Your small victories are those hidden roots. They are building a foundation strong enough to carry you when bigger moments arrive. And when you celebrate yourself along the way, you no longer depend on the world to validate your worth. You no longer wait for applause or recognition, because you have learned to clap for yourself. That is where true confidence begins. not in perfection, but in appreciating progress. Every smile you choose, every step you take, every fear you overcome, is proof that you are becoming stronger than you were yesterday. That is something worth honoring. So, don't rush through your journey searching only for the big moments. Pause. Acknowledge the courage it takes to be where you are today. Honor the progress that no one else may see. Because one day, when you look back, you will realize that it was not just the final destination that mattered. It was the countless little steps, the countless small victories that built the story of who you are. One of the heaviest burdens we carry in life is the weight of other people's expectations. From the moment we are born, society hands us a checklist. What success should look like, what happiness should mean, and even how we should measure our worth. Without realizing it, we begin to mold ourselves to fit into standards we never created. We chase dreams that are not ours. We walk paths that don't belong to us, and we silence the voice inside us just to please the voices around us. But the truth is, no one came into this world to fulfill the expectations of others. You came here to live your own story, to embrace your own truth, and to discover your own meaning. When you try to live according to what everyone else thinks, you lose touch with who you really are. You end up living a life that may look beautiful from the outside, but feels empty on the inside. And nothing is heavier than carrying a life that doesn't belong to you. That is why letting go of expectations is not about disrespecting others, but about respecting yourself enough to honor your own journey. It is about realizing that you are not here to prove yourself to the world. You are here to live authentically. There will always be people who think they know what's best for you. They will tell you how to act, how to dream, and how to define success. Sometimes these expectations come from love, sometimes from fear, and sometimes simply from the way the world has always worked. But what they cannot understand is that your soul has its own calling. The things that set your heart on fire, the choices that give you peace, the paths that give you purpose. Only you can feel them. Only you can hear them. To ignore them just to meet someone else's approval is to silence the very essence of your being. Detaching from expectations does not mean you stop caring. It does not mean you stop loving those around you. It means you love yourself enough to not be confined by standards that don't align with your truth. It means you have the courage to say, I choose a different path, even when people don't understand. And yes, choosing authenticity often comes with loneliness, because not everyone will support you when you stop living for them. But the freedom that comes with being true to yourself is far greater than the comfort of fitting in. When you release yourself from expectations, something beautiful happens. You begin to live in alignment with your own heart. You begin to see life not as a competition, but as a journey. You stop running after validation and start walking with purpose. You stop trying to meet deadlines that society has set for you and start embracing the timing that life has chosen for you. And in that freedom, you discover joy that no approval could ever give, and peace that no recognition could ever replace. The truth is, expectations are endless. No matter how much you give, the world will always ask for more. But your soul is not endless. It needs care. It needs authenticity. It needs truth. That is why the bravest decision you can make is to free yourself from the prison of expectations and step into the freedom of living your own life. You don't have to carry the weight of becoming what others want you to be. You only have to carry the responsibility of becoming who you were always meant to be. And when you choose to live like that, you don't just liberate yourself, you inspire others to do the same. You show them that it is possible to live without chains, to choose authenticity over approval, to choose purpose over pressure. In the end, it is not about disappointing others. It is about not disappointing yourself. Because your journey is only yours. And the most beautiful gift you can give yourself is the permission to live it fully, without compromise, without pretending, and without fear. There are moments in life when the noise around us becomes so loud that we begin to doubt our own voice. The world has its opinions, its judgments, and its definitions of who we should be. And in the middle of all that, our inner voice is often silenced. But the truth is, resilience is not always loud. It doesn't always come with applause or recognition. Sometimes resilience is born in silence, in the quiet determination to keep going when no one else believes you can. It is in the stillness of your own heart that you gather the courage to take the next step, even when the world insists you cannot. Resilience is not about proving others wrong. It is about proving to yourself that you can rise even when the weight feels unbearable. And sometimes that strength doesn't roar, it whispers. It whispers to you when you are alone in your room, reminding you that tomorrow is still worth facing. It whispers to you when the people you trusted turn away, telling you that your worth is not defined by their absence. It whispers to you when the world doubts you, saying, you can still stand. And in those whispers lies the power to keep walking, even through the darkest nights. Silence can feel heavy at times, but it is in silence that you begin to truly hear yourself. It is in silence that you connect with the part of you that has survived every storm, every heartbreak, every fall. That part of you does not need recognition or applause. It simply needs belief. The world may see you as weak because you are quiet, but they do not understand that in your silence, you are gathering strength, you are recharging, you are preparing to rise again. There will be times when you will face loneliness, when the support you long for will not be there, and when encouragement will be nowhere to be found. But even in those times, resilience will not abandon you. It will sit quietly beside you, reminding you that you have already survived so much. That reminder, though silent, is powerful enough to keep you standing. You may bend under the weight of trials, but resilience will not let you break. We often think strength means being unshaken, but true strength is being shaken and still standing. It is crying through the night and still choosing to smile in the morning. It is being doubted by others and still daring to believe in yourself. it is falling 100 times and still rising on the 101st. This kind of strength does not always show itself to the world, but it carries you forward in ways nothing else can. And sometimes, the most profound resilience is simply refusing to give up. When no one is watching, there is a quiet dignity in continuing to fight for your dreams. When the crowd has left, when the applause has faded, and when the path feels endless, that is where resilience is most alive. In the unseen, in the unheard, in the uncelebrated moments when you decide to hold on anyway. So, when life feels heavy and the world doubts you, turn inward. Listen to the silence within, because it holds a voice stronger than any noise outside. It tells you that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are enough. And when you learn to trust that voice, you discover that you don't need the world to believe in you. You only need to believe in yourself. Resilience in silence is not weakness, it is power. It is the kind of power that cannot be shaken by doubt, cannot be broken by failure, and cannot be silenced by fear. It is the quiet fire that keeps you moving forward when everything else tells you to stop. And when you carry that resilience within you, no obstacle, no doubt, and no setback can ever define your story. The most beautiful gift you can give to the world is the gift of being yourself. Too often, we believe that to inspire others, we must become someone extraordinary, someone flawless, someone larger than life. But the truth is, people are not touched by perfection. They are touched by authenticity. It is not the polished image that moves hearts. It is the raw, unfiltered story of a human being who dares to show up as they are. When you share your truth, your struggles, and your victories without pretending to be anyone else, you give others permission to embrace their own truth too. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your voice, your story, your journey. Think about it. How many times have you been encouraged by someone simply because they were honest about their struggles? Their courage to be real made you feel less alone, less ashamed, and more hopeful. That is the power of authenticity. When you stop hiding your scars become a light for someone still trapped in their darkness. When you stop pretending to have it all figured out, you remind others that it is okay not to have all the answers. Inspiring through authenticity is not about standing on a stage or having a loud voice. It is about how you live your everyday life. It is in the way you treat others, the kindness you extend, the resilience you show, and the love you carry in your heart. Sometimes you inspire someone without even knowing it. A smile, a word of encouragement, or the way you rise after a fall. All of these small actions can give hope to someone who is silently struggling. You may never realize how many lives you touch simply by being true to yourself. There is a kind of strength that comes from embracing your imperfections. When you are not afraid to show the world your flaws, you break the illusion that life has to be perfect to be meaningful. You show others that it is possible to live with scars, to rise with broken pieces, and to keep shining even when life has dimmed your light. That kind of authenticity carries more power than any mask of perfection ever could. We often think we need to wait until we are enough before we can inspire others. Enough success, enough wisdom, enough strength. But you are already enough right here, right now. Your journey, with all its ups and downs, is already shaping someone else's hope. Your courage to keep going is already whispering to someone else, if they can, maybe I can too. Money. You don't have to be extraordinary to make an impact. You only have to be real. And the beautiful part is, when you live authentically, you don't just inspire others, you free yourself. You no longer waste energy pretending to be someone else. You no longer measure yourself against impossible standards. You begin to walk lighter, to live freer, and to love deeper, because you are no longer hiding behind masks. That freedom is contagious. It spreads, it encourages, and it awakens others to live the same way. So, never underestimate the power of simply being yourself. Your journey, with all its challenges and triumphs, is your gift to the world. Your authenticity is what will outlast the applause, the recognition, and the titles. Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you achieved, but they will never forget how your truth made them feel. Your journey is only yours, and by living it authentically, you light the way for others to embrace theirs. That is how you inspire, not by being perfect, but by being real, by being human, and by being unafraid to let your story be seen.